Esme, and today I'm on an international show jumping yard. I'm going to be spending the day with Halim. We're going to do a bit of an interview, meet some of the horses and the foals, and I'm also going to be riding with him as well, which I'm so excited for. But anyway, let's go and say hi. Jay and I are both sponsored riders for Bailey's Horse Feeds and also Voltaire Design, so I'd just like to say a huge thank you to both of them for making today's video possible. Hi Jay!
Hi Esme, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me here to your yard.
That's
it must
okay.
Be pretty busy first thing in the morning. Is there anything I can do to help you out?
Well, I've just been organising the feed area, but I'm about to get my first horse ready, so if you want to give me a hand doing
yeah,
that'd be great.
Awesome, let's go. So who do we have here?
So this is Tigger. He's one of my homebred horses, and he's actually going to be your ride for the day.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
So he's 8, he's done some pre-novice and novice eventing, and is currently going to be for sale.
Oh wow.
So I thought he'd be a fun one to go through some exercises with.
Sounds good.
Well, you know how to use one of these, right?
Yep, I do.
Okay,
Thank you.
You're up.
I have 2 that are ridden at the moment. So I have Casper, who I've had since I was 12. He's my little Connemara pony, so he's getting a bit older now. So we just have fun with him pretty much. And he's great for filming because he's been around with the cameras for ages. And he's like the best sort of YouTube model horse. And then we have Joey, who's my young one that I'm bringing on that I got just before lockdown. So he's just turned 7, but he still feels a little bit like he's 5 because we haven't been able to do much with the lockdowns and then our van breaking. But the plan is to start getting him out there and hopefully do some show jumping with him.
Oh, fantastic. And have you bought him with show jumping in mind?
Yeah, so he came from an eventing home, but I think show jumping's what I'd like to do, but it's nice to have a horse that can do a bit of everything, especially with my channel. It's nice to be able to, you know, go and do some dressage or go and do some cross-country schooling, and he's like up for everything, if that makes sense, so.
That sounds cool. So will you plan to kind of register him British show jumping and go on from there?
That's the plan. Obviously I want to get him a little bit more confident going out and about and doing things, but yeah, in the probably next year, the plan is to register him, but...
So we'll see you out on the circuit then?
Hopefully.
And we'll grab some Voltaire tack. You've ridden in one of these before then?
Yes, I have.
Oh, Billy. And I told them, I admitted that when I was younger, I had all the centre page posters from Pony Magazine on my bedroom wall when I was a kid. And I was like, I want one.
Yep.
They've not done one yet.
Oh.
And I'm like, I want to be that pullout.
Yep. So you guys heard it here first. Forget winning Horse of the Year show. Jay's dream is to be in Pony Mag. So I was supposed to be going for a hack with Jay, and on the day of filming he very kindly offered me to have a lesson, which of course I was really excited about, but I was also pretty nervous. However, Jay and I had the exact same Voltaire Design Lexington saddle, so I knew that in that saddle I feel really confident and secure.
Into 3rd.
Okay.
I think that was 1st.
Okay, into 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay.
Foot off. There she is!
It turns out, before I was allowed to have a lesson on one of Jay's horses, I had to first have a lesson on the tractor, so I did have a little bit of a go at harrowing the arena.
After that, it was then time to get Tigger ready and hop on. So Tigger is a little bit bigger than Joey. I think he's around 17 hands-ish. However, I didn't look too small on him because luckily I do have quite long legs. And straight away from riding Tigger, I did feel really confident on him. He was just such a lovely horse, and I feel like we clicked really quickly as well.
Good. And then every time you change the rein, just make a move off your new inside leg. Okay, so the exercise I'm going to get you and Tigger to do is my most favourite exercise. It's the one that I do more than anything else. We have got 5 canter poles on a curve. I literally do it with a young horse, old horse, a slow horse, a fast horse. It covers so many things that it is actually the foundation to all of my exercises with the horses.
Yeah.
So you told me earlier on that your horse needs to basically slow down and start making a shape.
Yeah.
By using the exercise on a bit of a curve, you're automatically got your horse between hand and leg a little bit more because you're on a curve. I always do my gymnastic exercises on a curve because, as you know, horses favour one side more than the other.
Yeah.
So when you're doing an exercise in a straight line, they still want to use their favourite side and therefore not building up their weaker side.
Yes.
So everything I do is on a curve, and your job as the rider is to produce the rhythm and your line.
Okay.
Keep your line.
Yeah.
Okay, the rest is down to him because he's got to understand where his legs are.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do it step by step, but we're going to just start with the canter poles. They're 3 walk paces apart from each other, so really simple with a slight curve. Obviously, if the curve is really tight, it's harder for the horse.
Yeah.
So it only needs to be a slight bend when you start doing this exercise. Okay, so we'll have a go. Middle of the pole, and just keep your leg to him. Keep the leg there. Very good. And you need to keep your body up and tall. Rhythm, rhythm, soften the hand. Very good. You've done this before. Very good. So this basically, in my eyes, is show jumping. If you've got one that's always rushing, you can actually use the curve to help you keep the horse. And the more you do this, the more they eventually relax. But it's really important to try and soften your hand a little bit so they can use their neck over the poles.
Yeah.
And if you've got one that just keeps rushing and keeps rushing, just spend time doing it in trot until they relax.
Yeah.
Your body's doing the right thing. Soften the hand. Yeah, good. Stay up and tall. Very nice, look. Good. Canter, canter, lovely. Good, and go with him. Good. Yeah, good, good, good. Much better, good.
Good boy. Thank you very much, Jay.
That's
He's
all right,
awesome.
no worries.
You're very cool.
Glad you enjoyed him.
It was a lot of fun. Good boy. We'll
So
definitely
pretty.
have to try those exercises with Joey at home. Good boy.
Good boy.
Jay, it was so cool to see you jump Eric here. He seems like such an awesome horse, and thank you so much again for the lesson on Tigger. That was so much fun, and thank you for all the useful tips and tricks that I'm hopefully going to use with Joey as well. But what are your plans for the rest of the summer?
So we actually head to the London Global Champions Tour on Thursday this week, and we get to jump on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm taking my best horse, Aragon Zed, and Winning Moon. And then we actually are home for a day, and then we're off to Bolesworth for the Young Horse Championships. They've got a 2-star international, So they're having to work hard this month, and then in another few weeks we're back to Hickstead, which
Awesome.
are 3 of my favourite events. So it's a good month ahead.
Very busy then.
Yeah, very busy, and then hopefully after that it will quieten down a little bit. So it'll be nice.
What shows are you doing sort of this autumn, winter? Will you be?
Yeah, I'm just going to wait and see. I really want to do Horse of the Year show. I'd love to jump there for the week at the International.
Oh, I might see you there.
Well, hopefully. I sadly missed the qualifier this weekend, so just kind of hoping on a wild card maybe.
Yeah. So Jay, I thought we'd have a little sit down, a bit of a chat, and it's actually quite funny because I saw you last week and you're a bit smaller in real life, because when I saw you, you were on the huge Bailey's horse feeds van, and I didn't realise until I saw it in person how big they made you. Like, your face is like that big. So you've seen it as well, haven't you? Because I'm on the other side, which is like so surreal. But yeah, you were telling me that it came here the other day.
Yeah, no, it was here. I actually had it 2 deliveries ago, which was really cool. And I actually took a picture of you and put it on my Instagram as well.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I've kind of one of those little ticks that I've always wanted to have on the Bailey's lorry. It's great to work with Bailey's horse feeds. I actually used to feed Bailey's when I was a kid to all of my ponies, because I grew up very, very close to where the factory and the store is. So it's really, really nice to be a part of the team, and obviously now to be trucking around the UK on the side of a truck.
Yes, everywhere I go when I'm on the motorway, I'm like looking out for it. So the British team this year in the Olympics have done really well. You must be especially proud of the eventing team.
Yeah, really proud. I've been working with Laura Collett for the last 2 or 3 years now, and we have quite a close relationship, and been helping her with Dan, London 52, and Mr. Bass, and some of the other young horses as well. So I was very, very nervous, but felt quite confident. He's had an amazing year and been really good, and I love the eventing and love being a part of it, and I'm fortunate to be involved with some of the good riders and good horses, as well as those at a lower level also.
Awesome. So let's take it back a little bit more to you now. Tell me a bit more about your riding story, because you don't actually come from an equestrian background, do you?
No, not at all. Not at all. I grew up in Essex and just went to a normal school, normal comprehensive school. My parents do not know one thing about a horse at all. Literally don't understand any of it.
Same here.
So I basically fell in love with horses. We used to walk past a pony in a field on the way to walking my brother to primary school, and I used to run ahead and give the pony a treat and stuff like that. And then it started probably when I was about 6 or 7. We would just go to the local riding stables, and I'd have a lesson on the weekends, and then when I was old enough, I used to go down for the whole weekend and muck out in exchange for my riding lessons and stuff like that. And it kind of grew from there, but it was completely self-driven. And like I say, my parents completely non-horsey and didn't really understand it. So yeah, it kind of spiraled on, and we eventually had a pony on loan when I was like 12 or 13. And then I think we bought our first one when I was about 14, but for not an awful lot of money, and I had to make something of it, kind of thing.
It's such a lovely story as well, and it goes to show that a lot of my viewers don't come from equestrian backgrounds, that you can get there and with a lot of hard work. So it's a really lovely story. Yeah. And tell me a little bit more about your equestrian achievements. What would you say has been your most proud moment in your career?
There are many proud moments in my career. I don't feel like I have one defining moment. There are many, but I think the thing that keeps me driving forward is that if I've done something I've been proud of, I kind of put it in a box, put it behind me and move on, because I'm still very ambitious and there's so many things that I want for myself. and to achieve in the sport. So, I mean, obviously winning at Horse of the Year show the other year was a kind of a childhood dream. And actually, even the fact now that I've got my own place and running my own business, it's you know, I suppose in hindsight, come a hell of a long way. So, but I think anybody that has drive and ambition, I think it's never enough, and I think that's kind of where I'm at. That there are things that I still want from the sport. I haven't ridden on a senior team yet, and that's definitely something that's on my bucket list to do. So we'll see.
Awesome. And now this is a question that I like to ask all of the riders, but if you could redo one like round again or show again, what would it be and why? Now there's sort of like two sides to this, because you could either choose to redo a round that maybe was really good and you had so much fun and you just want to relive the memory, or sometimes the riders like to pick a round that maybe they could have changed something and it could have been better. Which round would you choose?
Oh my goodness, there are just
Such a tricky
so
question.
many rounds. If I could go in and re-ride them, like more rounds I'd like to go in and re-ride than not. I definitely over the years have lost a lot of classes from being too ambitious and having too much determination to win the class, where I could have just relaxed and I would have won an awful lot more. So I've definitely lost classes from trying too hard. And it's actually a really good bit of advice is to try and remain relaxed in those situations, because I've lost more than I've won because I've tried too hard.
Yeah.
And it's a really hard thing to get across to somebody, but the more you relax into it, the better the outcome.
Yeah.
And if you go in and you try and say in a jump off, think fast, it's not always how you win the class.
Yeah.
It's not about going as fast as you can in every moment of the course. So, God, there were so many. There was one the other year with my grey horse, Aragon Z, who was jumping really well. I really wanted to win the International Grand Prix in Bowlesworth. And he felt amazing. And I was so confident. I thought, this is the year I'm going to win it. He feels amazing. And I literally missed at the first jump. I had the biggest chocolate chip stride known to man, and then jumped clear everywhere else. And I was so disappointed with myself because I just lost concentration for a moment because I was overconfident.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe Bowlesworth Grand Prix a few years ago, but the next year I did go and win it, so it paid off.
Yeah. So Jay, we know that you're a show jumper, but you do have an eventing background. Why did you pick sort of show jumping over eventing?
Well, I actually started off show jumping originally.
Oh, okay.
And when I set up on my own after riding for Tina and Graham Fletcher, I inherited a couple of hunting liveries, and one of the ladies had bought a young Irish horse, and she asked me to do a Burley Young Event Horse class with it. Which was at badminton at Worcester Lodge, which is like a mini badminton show, and I went and won it.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, oh, well, this is easy. my first attempt of doing anything to do with eventing. And then basically I started my business model of the new yard by producing young Irish horses for the Burley Young Event Horse class to go on with, you know, to have a future in eventing. Having never ridden any dressage tests, I'd only ever really show jumped. I kind of did very well with the Burley Young Event Horse classes. I actually won the final at Burley with one horse, Eye Candy, who's actually one of my main broodmares now. Oh. And I started doing kind of pre-novice, like B100 novice level for a season or two, just with some of the Irish horses. And then I got sent a few to ride. And within my first proper year, I was 5th at Bramham in what was the 3-star, which is now 4-star. And then started to build on a team of horses. So then I did Blenheim and Blair Castle, and I did some of the World Cup qualifiers as well. So I got very, very involved. I did still do some show jumping in between, but the eventing kind of took over. And at that time, I had a very nice horse that I was doing some show jumping on that I sold to Tina Fletcher, who actually ended up being her Olympic horse, Hello Sailor.
Oh, wow.
But with that, I'd had 2 qualified for badminton the next year, and I never got to go, which was really disheartening because I obviously dreamt of doing badminton and Burley, which every time I'd entered or gone to do, something came up. So I never actually got to do an old 4-star, now 5-star. I thoroughly enjoyed the eventing and loved it at top level, but I think my heart was always in the show jumping. So eventually I got back into the jumping again and it went from there. But I learnt so much having done the eventing and learning to ride a dressage test. And I literally remember doing Bramham and thinking that shoulder in was just an inside bend. I didn't have a clue. And I learnt a lot on the flat, and I was very, very lucky to have been in the surroundings that I was in. And then I actually went and lived with the Bettersheimer, Laura Tomlinson family for a while and rode some of the horses there, and still have the odd young horse, you know, occasionally here. So I learnt an awful lot from a flat work dressage perspective, which I think has helped me now with my show jumping.
Oh, awesome. So Jay, tell me a little bit more about your homebreds, because you've got quite a cool breeding programme.
Yeah, so I started breeding around 11 years ago now. I've been really lucky that the first homebred that I have bred has, in eventing, done 2 4-star longs. He was double clear in the last one, and he was actually a reserve for the last Olympics with a Canadian rider. So the first one's obviously been very, very successful, and we've had a few other kind of ones that have gone on and won internationally. I started with some mares that I had previously evented, and it's just grown from there. So we've gone from doing 2 or 3 mares to this year we've actually tried with 12 mares, and at the moment we have 9 scanned in foal and one more pending. So this will be our biggest crop of young horses. But yeah, it's great fun. I'm breeding horses for all disciplines. I've used some dressage lines and eventing lines and jumping lines. We've got one that's a working hunter that we've sold. We've got some doing dressage. I'm just trying to breed a really nice, correct, modern sports horse. And if it's a jumper, it's a jumper. And I'm not trying to do anything. I'm mixing quite a lot of the bloodlines, which is really fun. And it's really interesting to see now that I'm riding some of the offspring, the traits from the mother and the father, which is it's very, very rewarding, rewarding.
That's so nice. So does that mean that we have some foals that we might be able to see later?
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome.
There are a couple for you to come and have a play with.
Oh, I love foals. Should we go and see them now?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Is it feed time? Little one here, and the mother's called Martha. And then just here, this little shy foal is Bucks Fizz.
Yeah.
So we call her Fizzy. Oh, that's my jumper. But as you can see, Tina is very, very friendly.
Hello. You're so pretty.
And this is Millie, who sadly lost her foal this year. Oh. So we're just waiting to see if she is pregnant again for next year. But she's like the boss of the field.
Oh, double trouble. Hey?
It's amazing though with the foals, isn't it? That you know, if you'd seen them a few weeks ago, the foal at the back would have looked really weak and really small. You know, in horse terms, a month is quite a long time in growth. Millie, you're 21 years old and should know better. Oh, now she's working it.
Despite Millie walking in front of the cameraman multiple times, I did get in quite a few foal cuddles before I had to go home.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, it's It's now a new day and I'm back at home with the horses. So today I'm going to be trying out the exercise that I did with Jay in my lesson on Tigger, but I'm going to be doing it at home with Joey. So the first thing I need to do is go and set it up now.
Falling in circles in the dark. Better be careful. Hearts break hard. Tied up in my headspace, got you dizzy.
Alright guys, I have now set up the jumping exercise that I did with Jay. So it looks probably a little bit different to in Jay's arena just because ours is a bit smaller. We only have a 20 by 40 arena, so I've put it here in the middle so I can do it on both reins. I'll probably start off as ground poles just so Joey can find his legs a little bit before we start raising them. Joey also is better on the left rein compared to the right, so I'll probably start on the left just because he'll find it a bit easier, but it's also a really good exercise because it's on a curve. It means that sometimes because Joey's weaker on the right rein, he can switch his canter lead to the left, so being on the curve, that will help him stick on the right canter lead as well. Eventually I'll probably put this center one up to a cross pole, then maybe up to an upright, and if I'm feeling super confident, then I could also put it up to a oxer as well that Jay recommended. I don't know if I'll do that or not today, just because again, new exercise for Joey. So the distance between each pole is 3 of my sort of big steps. So if I go 1, 2, 3, that's probably a good starting point for most horses. Some might be a bit shorter strided, some might be a bit longer strided, but generally around 3 big steps is good. Obviously, you guys know your horses better than I do. So yeah, I'm really excited to try this out on Joey, so I'm gonna go and get him tacked up and ready to go now.
Love me until I'm all you see. I got stars in my eyes, twist you around. I'll get you high, yeah, heaven is a place we found. Lightning in my energy, I'm all you ever need. I got you on your knees, yeah, begging for it. Might let you play for keeps, but never play for free. I got you on your knees, yeah, dying for it.
Alright, so once Joey and I were warmed up, it was time to have a go at the exercise. I started off with just ground poles, and you can see it took a little while for it to click into Joey's brain where his legs were and where he had to move them. Then I put it up to a small upright, and we gradually got there. As you can see, this was quite a technical exercise for Joey, as he was really having to sit up and use his hind end to get over the poles, but I also had to have that contact to get him to sit up, but also keep my hands soft. We both learned so much from this exercise, and I'm definitely going to try it again, and hopefully we can improve and get Joey even stronger.
Alright guys, before today's video ends, I'd like to say a huge thank you again to Jay for very kindly having us to film. I had so much fun. It was also really good to have a lesson on Tigger, and also for Jay to show us some really cool exercises that I had so much fun with Joey with as well. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to Voltaire Design and to Bailey's for making today's video possible, and I'd also like to say a huge thank you to you guys for watching today's video. If you're new or have not done so already, please like and subscribe, because it really does help me out and I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Alright Jay, now it's on to the most important question. You ready? Okay. What do you do on a Friday at 5 p.m?
Most of the time I'm stood in the arena teaching still at 5 p.m. on a Friday. Well, but I'm intrigued to hear what you do.
That's the wrong answer,
I want to know what you
Jay.
do.
Well, okay, no Jay. What do you do at Friday at 5 p.m?
Drink my favourite alcoholic drink, which is a Negroni.
No, not quite the right answer yet.
Oh, okay.
Jay, what do you do on a Friday at 5 p.m?
Collapse in a heap on the sofa in front of the TV.
What's on the TV? Okay, so Jay, what do you do on Friday at 5 p.m?
I tune into YouTube and watch Esme every Friday at 5 p.m.
That is the correct answer, Jay. Well done.